Arlovski versus Mir. Both men have been champion in the past, and both men have been on their losing streaks as well. They've had the heart to go through it all. And that type of heart is going to make all the difference in this fight. When it comes to the question of takedowns, the best takedown, Frank Mir and Arlovski has figured it out. It's a good old punch to the chin. No need for that crazy and complicated wrestling stuff. Wrestling makes me tired. A good old punch to the chin gets the job done, and it's real plain and simple. When it comes down to striking style, Frank Mir's got a variety of strikes. He likes knees, elbows, kicks, Muay Thai, lots of Muay Thai in his backbone. He likes to use a lot of punching and kicking combinations, a lot of punching and elbowing combinations, and of course he has a ferocious knee from the Thai clinch that he used to knock out Mirko Krokop. Frank Mir, if he catches you on the chin and you drop to the ground, the fight might be over fast because his submissions are so ferocious. While Arlovski's a very precise counter puncher, he doesn't get into the elbows and kicks too much. He's more looking to counter your punches, slipping and ripping, as they say in boxing. Look for him to slip, throw some beautiful counters, and be very sharp with his hands. If Arlovski knocks down Frank Mir, look for him to ask Frank Mir to get back up, unless he has him badly stunned. But even a badly stunned Frank Mir is extremely dangerous on the ground. For those of you who don't know me, there are very few things that make me cringe. But a Frank Mir submission hold is one of them. Chokes, guillotines, leg locks, arm bars, kimuras, he's done it all in the octagon. One important thing though is he knows how to use jiu-jitsu against wrestling. When he was on Big Nog, he did a phenomenal job from going from wrestling, the wrestling sprawl, to jiu-jitsu. Nog tried to do a peek out. I'll show you what a peek out is. Just start peeking out. Go halfway through a peek out here. Sit, that's it. Once your opponent is in peek out, the next step is to hip heist and take the back. Go ahead, take the back. Yeah. This is a beautiful wrestling move. Will score you a point in wrestling, okay? Freestyle wrestling. But watch here, when you do a peek out, that arm is primed for a kimura, a technique that's illegal in wrestling. Now Frank Mir, as he sensed that Nogueira was going through a peek out, watch this, as Nogueira started to go through the peek out, he switched his grip to a kimura. Instead of sprawling right now, he went right into a beautiful grip. So Frank Mir was really intelligent in grabbing the kimura here and shoulder rolling. That shoulder roll allows him to pack up his feet and get to the other side to side control. When he did that, he landed in a perfect kimura. He is brutal with his submission holds. He doesn't try to tap you out. He breaks your limb off before you have a chance to tap. And that has a psychological effect on his opponents. All right, guys, when you get in this position, you know you're in kimura heaven for you kimura experts out there. The first thing I'm looking to do is level his elbow to his shoulder. I don't want to start cranking here because if the guy's got a really flexible shoulder, I might end up in one of these positions. Just stay right there, move back, that's it. This position, and this arm is not going to break. If this guy's got a good flexible shoulder, this arm ain't breaking, okay? So watch what I'm going to do here. I'm going to bring that elbow level to the point of the shoulder, just like this. Now when I start to crank, it doesn't matter how flexible the guy is. Okay, I've taken out the slack in the shoulder, and all that pressure now is working against his tendons and ligament. The next thing I'm looking to do is step my leg over his head and finish the arm. Now when Frank Mir started to crank, he wanted to step over the head. And if he had stepped over the head, the arm would have broke right here. But Nogueira was really wise in stopping that leg from coming over. And even more so, when Frank was torquing that kimura, Nogueira started to sit up with it. Now when he started to roll with the kimura pressure, Frank Mir in turn countered him back. What did he do? He kept the arm behind the back. Very important. I don't want to allow my partner to put this hand in his hip here. Keep the kimura behind your opponent's back. Bridge. Make sure you give a nice strong bridge right into that kimura, and that's going to create another roll, bringing him back to side control. Now this time around, Frank Mir was too quick, too fast, too strong, too far ahead with the submission to be stopped. He stepped over, and we all remember that horrific break. The arm broke in several places, and it was one of the nastiest breaks we've seen in UFC, and Frank Mir was the victor. That kimura makes me cringe, and that's not something I want in my mind, fear of kimuras. So every time I see that fight, I always turn away near the end. And if you haven't seen that fight, I really recommend you do the same. What people at home might not know is the most special thing about these two individuals is their heart. Coming back from a loss is not an easy thing. And both these guys have come back from consecutive losses, multiple losses, loss after loss after loss. And that was after them being champion. That's a very hard pill to swallow because one day you're best in the world and then the next day you can't even win a fight. And to come back from that is tremendously difficult. So that tells me that both these men are willing to die in the octagon and that they're psychologically very strong. Look for them to fight to the end, tooth and nail, and put on a phenomenal show. Make sure you tune in to see two men with incredible heart go toe-to-toe.